Hey, welcome to the Gaming Nexus show. Each week we usually bring you a list of things that we have found, or I have found really, from the previous week and kind of share them with the three other guys. We have Eric, who writes for the Gaming Nexus.
What's happening?
We have Max, who designs games, not for Gaming Nexus specifically, more so for himself, but he's still here.
What's happening?
And then, of course, we have Joe, who streams for Gaming Nexus, as well as for himself.
What's happening?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you got it.
There it is. Good job.
So Battlefield 2042 doesn't come out for like a couple of months. I think like October 22nd. Does that sound right? Something like that. There's like There's like 1,000 first-person shooters coming out, like all within a month of it. Well, but all like within a month. Like Halo's coming out, the new Battlefield's coming out, the new Call of Duty's coming out. Like there's just
October
a handful.
22nd.
Thank you. So Battlefield's coming out October 22nd, but there are already hacks that are being released for it. So there's already an aimbot hack that's out. There's already a radar hack that's already out. There's already a wall hack that's being out. So before this game is released, there are already like hacks that are available to people to have.
Define wall hack.
Yeah,
it's called an hack. It's called an ESP wall hack. I guess it allows you to shoot through walls.
So is this like a piece of software that you download that sort of modifies your game's binary to? Okay.
Yeah, it's the aimbot thing is kind of like been around. It's they say it's a classic aimbot cheat, so I'm assuming it just kind of puts. Well, I mean, it's becoming a huge thing in these first-person shooters. I mean, I know Apex just banned a bunch of people. Call of Duty Warzone has been banning a bunch of people, so it's like before the new game even comes out, they're already like gonna have all these people who are, Joe
was asking, was there an early access? Like, is that how they?
I am not 100% sure on that. I could not find that information because I was curious how they had that too, or if they somehow got code of the game to make that happen, but.
Okay, I have a second part of the question.
Okay.
So this is going to sound really dumb on a gaming podcast, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I just don't understand. Are these hacks PC-only hacks, or are these hacks across the board? Like, is there a PlayStation hack? Is there an Xbox? Where do the hacks go multi-platform? I don't know. Tell me more.
Well, they're right now these ones are for PC, but the problem gets to be now is that all these first-person shooters are all,
crossplay.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
which is what everyone wanted, right? So, like, now everyone wanted crossplay, and now this is what you get with crossplay.
And now they're cross-paying
right?
for it.
That's, my man. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm thinking, right? So, all these people wanted crossplay and cross-platform and cross, progression and all this stuff, and then these hacks are coming out and it's making the game experience worse. So I guess, and this is going to be like just a dumb fix for me, that if I get Battlefield, I'm just going to play it on console and turn off crossplay. Like, isn't that the solution? Is that the solution?
It kind of is the solution. Yeah. I mean, there was a thing that happened like a month ago. I forget which game it was, but something came to Stadia. Oh, it was Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six came to Stadia. And it was immediately like the talk of the Stadia community, like, oh, we can play here and nobody can hack. Like it's impossible to hack or cheat on Stadia because it's not like you can get on Google's servers and add some little widget, into the game. So, it kind of became a talking point for a little bit. Like, if you turn crossplay off, we can all play safe and fair. And in this kind of enclosed environment. So I don't know. I just don't understand like the point. Like you're playing a game to show your skill, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
maybe. I mean,
and if you don't have skill, like me, I have no skill at first person shooters. I just don't play them, you know, like I'll play through the campaign because I can turn that down to easy and actually kind of like muddle through and I enjoy the story. But most competitive online games, I play a couple rounds and I just bow out of because I just suck, and I don't understand what the point is. Like, it's not like you're seeing extra content when you cheat. It's not like you're like like being at the top of the leaderboards wins you anything except being at the top of the leaderboards.
I mean,
And if you didn't earn that yourself, like what's the satisfaction of being at the top of the leaderboards? Like I don't understand. I don't get it.
So if you're a hacker and you're listening to the Gaming Nexus show,
Get at us.
we would like to invite you. We want to know. We
Yeah,
want to
that'd be
know
dope,
why.
actually.
Why are you a piece of shit?
Nah.
Well,
I mean,
let's start with that.
Scared? All right, back off. We
Sorry,
can call each
sorry.
other pieces of shit, but wait till they come on the show to call them that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad.
that could be real cool.
Sure.
We don't know.
Nah.
Like, just supporting their kids, making them hacks. I don't know. Like, it could be cool.
I mean, that could be. I mean,
some people pick corn.
Some people
like,
sell crack. I don't know.
some people sell crack. They could be cool.
Yes.
I bet you there's some real cool
Yeah,
crack
cool
dealers out
crack
there.
dealers.
There's some cool crack dealers. You just want to.
Wait.
They're funny.
I have a friend who literally has a mod that will tell him
Oh, okay.
how many.
He segued so bad. He segued. That was the worst segue.
I'm trying here. But I have a friend that has a mod that will show him like the KD ratios that people have in lobbies before they play.
What's
the kill to death ratio, how many kills they get versus how many deaths they have.
Mine is always terrible. It's like 1 to like 17. Like it's
Right. So
it feels like wretched.
you have like 12 kills to every 1 death you have yourself, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So when he sees these guys with crazy high kill to death ratios, he knows that they're hacking. He knows they have some type of
God.
assistance, right? So he'll get rid of those people in his lobby or keep going until he gets to a lobby where like the KD ratios are a little like more balanced.
So he's a hacker to stop hackers?
Well, it's not. It's a mod. I don't think it's a hack in the sense,
Gotcha.
but there's something that will show you like the stats of like. It'll show you the stats that anyone can find, but it just does it in a much quicker, concise way instead of like looking that person up and like highlighting each person that it's in the lobby and seeing what their KD is. So it'll just show you what it is to be like, oh wow, there's like 2 or 3 guys here that are like getting 20 kills to every 1 death they have. That's a little ridiculous.
It's like an anti-cheat mod. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Whenever I'm playing games like that, like I always do seem to get wrecked extra hard by like 1 or 2 players, but I always just assume that they are like way more skilled. And to be fair, I never play long enough to like get good. So, yeah, I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to say if I've ever even encountered a cheater.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all have in some capacity at some point with an online game, right? Because there's always going to be someone that wants to that has fun being the best or like perceived to be the best, right?
Well, see, I don't know. So I just got a gaming PC. Like just got a gaming PC like this past year when I joined Gaming Nexus. So I have no idea. Like it's all console gaming for me. So I mean, and I turned all that cross platform gaming off.
Yeah, and I've never played an online game.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
So, I mean, except
never,
that one
like
time that one time we streamed Ruins of Tassos.
Yeah.
Was that
like
Yeah,
no
that's it.
MMOs, no.
Wow, really?
Wow.
Wow.
Max.
I'm pure.
Good for you, Max. Good for
Yeah,
you.
you are
Keeping it
pure.
clean,
Yeah.
keeping it tight. Yeah.
Keeping it tight.
Like the newly fallen Pow Pow.
Hmm?
Like
Yeah,
a fresh coat of snow. Like when you're a I almost said surfboarder, snowboarder, you call it Pow Pow. Yeah,
Max.
sure. Outside, boys.
No? That's why Max is here.
Yeah.
To tell us about the Pow Pow. There are some Pow Pow dealers out there that are probably pretty cool. They're like,
Oh, I have a friend who
My friend,
snowboards
yeah.
all the time.
Oh, you took it. I was trying to get there.
Oh shit. Moving
I'm
on.
a pretty big Pokemon guy. I pay attention to just about all the Pokemon video game announcements. It's just something I've done forever because I just grew up with it. Nintendo had a Pokemon Presents literally last Wednesday, so I guess it's like a week ago at this point for us. But there was a handful of things they announced that were kind of cool. There was some Pokemon Unite stuff, which is their MOBA. There's new characters to that. There's a Pokemon Cafe Remix, which is a phone game and Nintendo Switch game that was not super puzzly, but tried to be puzzly. There's Pokemon Masters EX stuff, which I can't believe that game is like 2 years old now. It's another Pokemon phone game that I was not a huge fan of, but I tried. There was 5th edition or 5th anniversary Pokemon Go stuff because that game's been out for 5 years. The stuff that I found interesting was the 2 new Pokemon like actual games coming out. There's Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They showed a lot more footage of that. That's the remake of, I don't remember which generation off the top of my head, 4th or 5th.
I think normal Diamond and normal Pearl.
Yeah, I think that's 4th and 5th generation, right? It's one of those like later ones. Anyway, it's being remade. It's coming out this fall, November 19th. I was really kind of a little turned off by the style. It's just like the Let's Go style. It's the chibi looking like characters. Yep. I really have a problem with the chibi looking things. For me, I literally didn't get that one RPG that Eric was a big fan of because I just didn't like the chibi look of the characters.
Bravely Default?
Yeah, I literally didn't want to. I didn't pick it up because I just didn't like the look of that chibi style. For whatever reason, just it doesn't like attract me. But
that's interesting. That's interesting.
And I don't know what it is. But that was announced. There's a lot more stuff of that. There's a new Nintendo Switch Lite design coming out, or case coming out for that release. And then there's the big game that comes out in January of next year, Pokemon Legends Arceus. I think I'm saying that right. Arceus.
I don't know.
Arceus. It's the God Pokemon. It's literally like their version of God, which is kind of like this weird goat-looking thing with horns.
So Pokemon is Satanism, is what you're saying.
Wow.
I feel like he's more like a deer.
You think it's more like a deer?
I don't know where that puts it on the Satanism scale.
He's got like a weird unicorn horn thing. And
let's look him up.
If you spell his name backwards, is it Bahamut? Like, no. Just asking.
For a friend.
It's
if you play a Pokemon game backwards.
It's Sucra. If you spell his name backwards. So Sucra is Kama Sutra, which is different positions, which is the devil.
There we go.
Pokemon are Legion. Yeah.
And that starts with P and that rhymes with T, and that stands for Tool. It was a band that's satanic.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, what do you actually have to say about that game?
Anyway, they actually showed video of gameplay for the first time. It's an open world Pokemon game. It looks kind of like what a lot of people, myself included, were like wanting. It looks like a Breath of the Wild style Pokemon game, which like really looks cool. The problem I have with Pokemon is
it's boring.
Well,
wow.
It is now, but the reason why I find it boring now is because it hasn't really changed or evolved, right? I have aged, but Pokemon really hasn't, so I've kind of aged out of like what Pokemon is. But I think there's a lot of people like me that are like, hey, it'd be kind of cool to have like a little bit of a more mature, and I'm not talking like guns and violence, but just like the next like evolution of it, where I feel like Pokemon hasn't really evolved a whole lot.
It's a game for kids.
It's great.
It's a game for kids. I'm never gonna get an adult version of Pokemon.
As much as I like giving Elliot shit, I mean, there like the game it has been pretty stagnant for 20 generations or something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but that's a good point. Is it makes a ton of money, so why change it if it works?
Right, and I understand that.
But it seems cool that this is at least a pretty big change up to the formula to have an open world Pokemon game.
Yep.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trying something different, which is exciting to me.
That's like a big step for them.
It is, because the other game they made did not get super great reviews. That it's like a dice rolling dungeon crawler. Was the only other game that Game Freak has made that wasn't Pokemon related in the last like 10 years, and it was not super well received. I can't think of the name off the top of my Tiny Village or Tiny.
Oh, yep, that's
Dungeon.
right.
Something, is it My Tiny Village?
Tiny Dungeon.
It's something like that. It's something like that, and I played the demo version, or I played it at someone's house, and I did not really get into it.
Little Town Hero.
Little Town Hero. That sounds much better.
So close.
I was right in some aspect, right? Tiny. I think I said the word tiny.
They got guns in that game, Elliot.
They did have guns in that game.
Oh, it's Pokemon with guns, you're telling me?
No, not even close to Pokemon with guns.
Do you guys remember Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sonic with guns?
Yeah. Oh, he was. I feel like they introduced Shadow right when I was like 9, like exactly when I wanted him.
Exactly when you were craving guns, at least in the United States, right? It's about the time we start.
Well, just
craving...
like when you start when the kids who you're looking up to start being edgy.
Right. Perfect time for Shadow the Hedgehog.
I don't know. I had a little McDonald's game where it was like he was grinding on a rail like a skateboarder, but just with his fucking shoes. And you pressed the button and he jumped, and that was the whole game. But I thought it was so cool. Anyway, kids are dumb.
Wow. Sorry, kids.
Why they play all those Pokemon games? I don't know. I just can't. I've expressed this before. I've never really gotten into Pokemon that much, and they just seem like really slow-paced RPGs to me. That's all.
I played Pokemon Yellow. That was the only one I ever played. And once I was done with Pokemon Yellow, I was like, okay, this is cool. And then I played Pokemon Go for like a couple months. And then I was like, okay.
Pokemon.
So like Pokemon Unite, same thing. I played for like an hour. Stop playing it. Like I played
Pokemon them. It's like kind of advanced Tamagotchi. Like that's how I feel about it. It's like a Tamagotchi with more widgets.
Tamagotchi meets a JRPG.
Yeah.
Tamagotchi meets a JRPG.
I think that's a solid premise. Yeah.
Yeah. It's done pretty well for them. I mean, isn't it like one of the biggest franchises ever? So.
Yeah. And they don't let you starve your Pokemon the way you can starve a Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
And that's really the satisfaction of a Tamagotchi. Build it up and feed it and love it and feed it and then just fucking starve it to death. Just it's all betrayed and sad and dying. I love Tamagotchis.
Weird way to come out as a psychopath, but all right.
Yeah.
So you got what? Joe.
I know some cool Tamagotchi dealers.
Yeah. My friend.
Admit you starved a Tamagotchi. Admit it.
I never had a Tamagotchi. We were at
Of course you had a Tamagotchi. We all had Tamagotchi.
No,
we all had Tamagotchi.
I had one of them like sitting on the side, and I was like, "You gotta feed you." I think you were like, "You gotta feed your Tamagotchi." I was like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it."
Right. So you starved it.
Yep. But I got no satisfaction out of it. Like you.
Yeah, you did. No, you did.
You are sitting in.
You probably did. You know what actually happened? I think I had a Tamagotchi and it was like the work Tamagotchi and it was like, everybody take care of the Tamagotchi now. We all got to take care of it. It's our group project. And then just everybody else let it starve.
Yep.
And then, yeah, I think that was probably more what really happened.
That's how you got into Tamagotchi starvation.
That was the touch point that really set off my obsession with Tamagotchi starvation.
Not a lot of Tamagotchi starvation like videos on Pornhub, I'm guessing. But you've probably made a couple, right?
All right, dude,
you just don't know.
What is it? Rule 30? What is it?
Goes.
Oh, yeah, Rule 34. You're
Rule
right.
34.
Oh, man.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, give us a select reading from that when you get a chance there, Joe.
No, thanks. I'll pass. Max, I'll pass it to you. That is your job.
What? No, I nose goes.
Yeah, he did say nose goes. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Joe, you gotta look up Tamagotchi porn.
You gotta look it up. Use the incognito window.
Yeah,
okay.
please.
I'm on it.
All right.
Keep going.
Anyway, Gamescom has, I guess, not technically officially started yet for us. Although Xbox had their stream today, they don't consider day one of Gamescom until tomorrow for us, which is Wednesday, August 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Is Gamescom a thing that you pay attention to a lot, Eric, at all?
We receive like a lot of PR emails with game announcements and so on, but it's not like a E3 level focus, like it's fun. It's like a fun event. A lot of cool news comes out of it. Some cool indie announcements and stuff. But it's not like on my calendar.
Yeah.
Like it's Gamescom.
Things,
yeah.
Yeah. E3 was online only this year. Gamescom 2021 is also an online only event.
Okay.
So there's Xbox, Bethesda, of course, Activision, EA. Those are all people that are doing some type of show off kind of stuff. I believe it runs for 3 days, so it goes until Friday this week. Like I said, Xbox had theirs today, and they had a couple of announcements. I thought I would start off by just listing off all of the games that are either coming to Game Pass soon or getting ready to come to Game Pass, because again, Game Pass is just like
the best deal in gaming.
without a question,
it's ridiculous.
Right?
It's ridiculous. There's so many cool things on the PC Game Pass. It's like, how can I even find the time to even try these?
Yeah.
You know.
So we have Age of Empires 4, which I'm super excited about. Into the Pit, Crusader Kings 3, Psychonauts 2, which comes out I think Friday.
Ooh.
If I'm not mistaken. The Gunk, Arkvale, Next Space Rebels, Midnight Fight Express, Dodgeball Academia, Bushinden, Flynn, Son of Crimson, Unpacking, Signalis, Unsighted, and Chinatown Detective Agency. Those are all that are just coming, and that's not including things that like DLC that will be coming to Game Pass, like State of Decay 2, Borderlands 3, Borderlands 3 is getting a thing in Sea of Thieves, so that's not technically Borderlands 3. So it's Sea of Thieves stuff, but in Borderlands stuff
in Sea of Thieves.
And then Wasteland 3. So there's a lot of stuff. And then they also had some videos about like Hades, which I think came out last Friday on Game Pass. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Which is, if you have not played Hades, it is, man, that might have been my favorite game from last year.
I have not played Hades
or whenever
yet.
I
plan on playing the shit out of Hades here soon.
It's an absolute blast. For roguelikes, it's not super, super long, too, which is one of those things I kind of liked about it. And also, I liked that, like, when you die, it does carry over into the next run. Like, the story even, like, continues as you, like, die. Like, dying is part of, like, telling the story of that game, which is, like, what's really cool. Because, like, with most roguelikes, you just start from scratch again. But, like, with Hades, you don't, unless you kind of choose to make it harder on yourself. But, like, literally, you get to that first boss, and you die, and you die, and you die, and then eventually you down that first boss, and then you get further into the game, and then you'll die again, and so you'll start back up, and you gotta face that boss again, only it's not, the boss is not there this time, it's her sister. So, like, it changes, too, as you're playing, too, so, like, even the same boss fights are different, or they know you're coming back because they just killed you, and so they're gonna do stuff differently. So the game, like, for a roguelike really evolves. It really tells, like, a good story for a roguelike, which I think is one of the weaker points to roguelike games, is, like, the storytelling is just usually not, like, a heavy focus. Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, you're going to have a blast. So I'm excited to hear or even watch you play it, because to me, I got, like, sucked into it when it came out on Switch, and I played it until I beat it, and then I played it again because it was, like, just as much fun to do it again. Like, to clear it again.
We reviewed it. Rob Larkin reviewed it for us, and he gave it a 10 out of 10 on PS5.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, it's a great game. So you'll have a lot of fun with it. So, other stuff that Xbox announced at Game Pass. I always call it tray buckets, even though I know that's not how you say the name of trebuchet. It's trebuchet, but like,
okay.
But do you have words? Do you ever have words when you were young that you, like, just pronounced differently or incorrectly? And so, like, I've always called trebuchet, like, tray buckets, because that's what I saw
Joe.
when I was young. Yeah. So I just,
how many buckets you got there?
Yeah.
I got let me see. Oh, I got tray buckets.
Tray buckets.
I got tray whole buckets over here. What am I supposed to do with all these buckets?
Yeah.
Stack them, do the milk crate thing.
I love Max so much. Got like 3 or 4 buckets over here. I got tray buckets.
1, 2, 3.
I got 12 buckets.
But they're the ones behind Age of Empires 4, so they had a lot of stuff. Age of Empires 4 comes out October 28th. It's going to be on Game Pass on launch day. So that was, I think, the thing I was most excited about from that game, or from them. There's some Forza Horizon 5 stuff that they kind of showed off.
Yeah, they got a release date on it, November. It's in November. It's coming out.
We are so good at release dates today, guys.
We are.
November 9th.
Yeah, November 9th. That's what I said. And it'll be on my computer on November 9th.
Oh, it'll be on mine a little bit before that, because I think you can probably download it before.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, get it the night before.
Booyakasha.
Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Cloud Gaming is coming to Xbox consoles in time for, like, Christmas. There's more Microsoft Flight Simulator stuff. They're adding like a racing mode with like World War II airplanes or biplanes or something like that. They're also doing a bunch with Germany, Australia, and Switzerland for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So places I don't really fly. I find that with Microsoft Flight Simulator, I only fly around like Columbus because I like want to find my house. I want to find like my warehouse that I work at. I want to find like my father-in-law's house.
Yeah.
But then like I tried to like fly around like where Disneyland is. I'm like getting lost. I had to like Google it and it required a lot more work.
Microsoft Flight Simulator, but you got lost.
Yeah, because
this doesn't sound like a fun game.
The problem with Microsoft Flight Simulator is it's like real time, right? So like if you take off from the airport and like I fly to my house, it takes me the same amount of time it would take an airplane to actually fly that.
What?
Yeah.
You know, there's an airport like right down the street from my house.
Yeah,
like it's literally like half a mile away, and tiny planes are constantly buzzing, you know, around my house. I wonder if that airport is in the game.
It is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Because I could just take off from there.
Well,
and then be at my house in like 30 seconds.
I'll take
and
off.
then I could just I beat Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah,
like it's done, right? Like
49 gigs
I could beat it so fast.
Yeah, it is
that
lot.
a cheat?
2 days to download.
Does that count?
Whoa.
Does it count as a cheat if I just fly straight to my house?
Are you hacking the game?
And then be like, there's my barn, and then like be done? Like I think I win.
I mean, that's literally what I did. I flew around Columbus, and then I was like, my wife was like, "Oh, fly around Disney." So I flew around Disney, and then I was like, "That's cool." And that was about the end of that for me.
Yeah.
Can you crash into stuff?
Yeah, but
Not
your plane doesn't
really.
blow up. You just
Yeah.
crash into stuff. Like your plane just kind of flops around. It's visually one of the coolest games ever. Yeah.
Does your plane flop around the way the tractors flop around in Farm Simulator? Because that's funny.
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
No.
I like that. I like rolling tractors in Farm Simulator. It's one of my favorite things. Just to go all Saints Row on Farm Simulator. Try to drive into the ocean and stuff. It's good fun.
So, Max, you sent out a tweet. Was it last week or maybe the week before where you linked that YouTube video, which is where I found it. I literally found it from your Twitter, where the premise of it was talking about Roblox and how it's kind of is it teaching kids how to like program or code, but not really at the same time, right? It's
so yes and no,
right?
Yeah, you want me to just sort of summarize it?
How did you stumble upon the video to begin with?
Oh, just some other person on Twitter shared it. You know how I do.
Yeah, and you just found it interesting.
Yeah, I found it. Well, so I found it interesting and horrifying. I found it upsetting. This is a video about Roblox and how it's sort of tacitly taking advantage of children to generate all of their content and scamming them out. Well, not scamming them per se, but really not delivering on its promises of like being a platform you can make money on through games. Do you want me to just like sort of summarize what it's about?
Yeah.
Right. So Roblox, if you don't know what it is, which a lot of people don't because it's mostly a game for children, so according to this video, is apparently the most popular game in America and Europe. I didn't have time to fact check everything in this video, but Wired picked up the story too, so I assume they did. Trusting them.
As a parent, I can confirm that Roblox is mad popular. I don't let my kids mess around with Roblox.
You don't?
Like it's off the table. No, but
really?
I know a lot of their friends do.
Why, Eric? Why don't you let your kids?
Because it's a black hole.
Okay.
It's a pit. It's just so big and so incomprehensible.
So
and
what it's not like a game. It's a platform in which anybody can make some sort of. It's like Newgrounds, in some ways.
Okay. But, I get you.
Maybe a little more sophisticated, but you can make any sort of game or experience. They call them experiences because if they call them games, then the Apple App Store is like, you have a store within my store. You got to get out of here.
That's crazy. It's like such a crazy workaround that I'm super surprised I don't see in other apps.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was really surprised about that fact when I saw the video. I was like, oh, that's ingenious on Roblox's part.
Yeah. But so yeah, I can see it just like it's anybody and it's mostly kids making these, can make a game, and that's what Roblox sells. It's another like free to play thing where like you can get Roblox for free, you can play all these games for free, and they just get all the money from in-app purchases. They use their currency is called Robux, like Sears and Robux, which if you're old and not familiar with Roblox, maybe you know them. Maybe you ordered your house from a catalog when you were pioneering Kansas. But so there's over 20 million games or something crazy like this. So it's like dwarfs Steam in the amount of games that are on here. So yeah, it's super like black holy.
Yeah, there's no way to like monitor what the content is either. You know, I mean, as a parent, there's no way to monitor. I'm sure that Roblox, I mean, there's not a lot of scandal about the content on Roblox, but I still like something. It's like the way I would not let my kids go unmonitored onto YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the little ones. Like it's just there's no way of knowing what they're going to come across on there.
Yeah.
And it's a giant scam. And it's a giant scam. I mean, there's that too.
So there's a lot of what they push is apparently that you can, they're advertising mainly the children, which are the majority of their player base. I think like 70% of their players are younger than 16. Like a quarter of their players are under 9. Like it's very much for kids. And they have like sort of like play games, make games, sell your games. Like this is sort of their like what they're advertising. But they say that they've paid, I wrote down some numbers, $329 million to devs. I'm not sure if that is in real money that you can use or in Robux. But there's a lot of sort of sketchy things about the way that their monetization works. So a normal store like Steam or the PlayStation Store, you're putting together your game, you're putting it up on that platform, and the platform takes 30% of the profit from the game. That's pretty standard. It's not great, but it's standard. Roblox is like, I'm taking 75% of your profits on all the sales. They say that this is because they do provide more than like those stores in terms of like they provide the servers, which can be pretty pricey, and like they have all the tools that you need to get your things together. And it does seem like, aside from all the sort of sketchy money stuff, it is a cool platform to learn to make games. It actually uses Lua scripting, which is pretty similar to JavaScript. So you can like actually code stuff in there, but they make it pretty easy. That said, like still the vast majority of the stuff on the platform, from what I can tell, is just like unplayable garbage, which is also kind of cool in its way, in like that old Newgroundsy way where it's just like a bunch of people being wild and unfettered. But Newgrounds didn't have that whole like, you can do this for money, because they sort of acknowledged, no, this is not a good way.
The Newgrounds thing is kind of funny to compare it to, because like if I was a parent and I knew about Newgrounds, I would not have let my kid on Newgrounds.
Oh, and you shouldn't have.
Right? Like you're like, oh yeah, I looking back, you're like, man, there's some really fucked up shit on Newgrounds for like 13-year-olds to find, where you're like, oh, this is how that kind of stuff works.
Yeah, I think Roblox has better moderation in place, or any at all, which Newgrounds definitely wasn't.
No.
Right.
But so like their whole thing is like, yeah, you can get paid. They're advertising a lot about how much money they're paying to developers. They've got all that right up on their website. But here's how the math works. For one thing, you get paid in Robux, not real money. You can convert it out, but like, for example, if people spend like 400,000 Robux in your game, the exchange rate means that like the people have spent about $4,000 of US dollars. So if let's just say like, your game is pretty popular. A bunch of people are spending a bunch of people are like buying t-shirts for their characters or whatever kind of stuff you have in your game. If they spend about $4,000, that Roblox is going to take 75% of that. So you're getting 100,000 Robux, which is the minimum amount you can cash out, which is you can cash that out for $350, because the money going in ain't the same as the money going out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they hose them on the exchange rate. Like,
yeah,
it's
like
absolutely insane.
it's like the money going out is worth 35% as much as Robux takes for going in. So it gets crazy devalued. Plus then if you want to cash out, you need minimum to be cashing out 100,000 Robux, which means you can make a pretty successful game. Like people can spend like a couple $1,000s on your game, and Roblox, oh my gosh, their currency and names are too similar, is going to keep all of that. They're like, oh yeah, until you hit the threshold, you can't cash out. So that's just money people are trying to pay to you that's just going straight to them. And then to even cash out, you need to have like a paid subscription to Roblox. So all of this is sort of working to incentivize anybody who makes a game and actually makes that people are interested in and people are paying money for. It incentivizes them to keep all of their money in this made-up currency. Not that all currency isn't kind of made up, but into made-up Robux currency. Which means that if every time they use it in the future going forward, Roblox again takes a cut. So they've sort of developing the video that we were talking about, compared it to like the company store, like when back in like
which
the
was
1800s.
great.
Yeah,
it was a great comparison. I was like, oh yeah, that totally is an apt metaphor. It absolutely makes sense when they put it like that. It's just getting the money in and then keeping the money in that system, so it just cycles around. Like the whole system seemed like it seems like it's built to like elevate a very, very, very small percentage of the developers as like the example to strive for, and then force everybody else to give up. Like that's basically like strive to do well, you'll never succeed. You give up, you leave your money where it is, and we keep it. Like that seems to be the setup there.
Well, I don't know if they want people to give up quite. They definitely don't want people to make enough money to cash out with it, but like I think it reminds me of like have you guys read about like the psychology of gambling in terms of like non-fixed reinforcement schedules? It's something that I read about a lot in game design stuff. The idea being that like if you a good example is I watched a video on like parrying in games, like counters. The idea being sort of like if something has a sort of lower percentage chance of happening, or it's harder to pull off, but it could happen every time you perform an action, that like inconsistent feedback actually makes you keep trying. Whereas like, so if you're say like, you know, the studies are like, oh, you're a rat in a cage and you press a button, and every time you press the button, food comes out. As soon as you press the button and food doesn't come out, you stop. If 1 out of every 6 times you press a button, food comes out, the button can stop giving you food and you'll keep pressing it for a long, long, long time, and people are the same. And that's sort of like, a gambling thing. Like, things only need to pan out once or twice, and people's behavior will be like, they'll keep trying to make it happen. It's the,
right.
Like slot machine mentality.
Yeah.
And for Roblox, that means that, like, children keep producing all of their content for free because they're, like, leveraging psychology and pretty sketchy economics against them.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't dangle that carrot of payment in front of them like that, then it wouldn't seem nearly as gross. If it was just like, I mean, I almost feel like it would be better if it was set up to just like, you create this stuff for free and we keep all the money and we're real open about it. Like you can distribute this game on Roblox and your friends can all play it and you can all have fun. And maybe we're charging 25 cents for each of these games, even though you made them, but we're not telling you that you're going to make any money at it.
Yeah.
Like it's the fact that they kind of dangle this carrot, which is like, tiny microscopic carrot in front of these kids, and then, just dash their dreams over and over and over again. There's nothing illegal about it. It's just gross. It just feels gross to exploit children as your labor force like that, with this very small chance that they may strike it rich,
Although, like, especially with that comparison to like using it, like they have their own currency system, like with Robux. The fact that if people pay you, you can't get it out till it reaches a certain threshold and it stays in their system. They keep
Yeah, and they're
taxing it.
kids.
These do seems like things that, like, all of that could be illegal. Like, those could just have laws made to, like, those are practices that in other industry, like physical industries, like, you can't do that.
No, yeah, it was illegalized. That's why there are no more company stores. It's just that
Yeah.
it's happening in a digital realm, and so nobody has decided to, litigate it yet. And the other side is they're kids, so they're getting paid in Robux.
We're talking about labor laws for your child labor.
They're getting paid in Robux, and then Roblox is constantly dangling new temptations to spend their Robux on before they get the chance to even build it up to cash it out. Like, I'm sure there are kids that maybe made enough to cash out, but instead of doing so, like, just incrementally spent it as it came in, and didn't,
Which then
it's gross.
Roblox takes the cut of.
Right. Roblox.
And even if they did want to take it out, it's still only worth 35% of what it came in as.
Yeah. Ooh, those Roblox people got to be rich.
Well, but the
They
other thing
are.
too
They
that
are
was interesting.
incredibly rich.
The video talks about how the company says that they don't really make a profit, right? They use kind of that Hollywood accounting to show that they're really
Which is
not.
bullshit.
Because they pay the shit out of their executives.
Yeah.
That's why they don't make a profit. Like, any company could say they don't make a profit.
have to do
If you pay your executives millions and millions and millions of dollars, yeah.
Like, money is all, like, what money is, and, like, you pay these people these crazy amounts of money. Like, they had their IPO pretty recently, and they're valued at I wrote this down, $75 billion with a B dollars. Like,
Yeah.
in the terms of, like, how much any kind of money means anything, yeah, they are rich. Like,
Yeah.
if whatever kind of dudes are in Wall Street are saying, yeah, this company is worth $75 billion, yeah, don't say you don't make a profit.
They're living in some fat Roblox mansions for sure.
Yeah.
Scandal. Roblox CEO actually lives in a Minecraft mansion.
Yeah, it was a very interesting video. I want to check out more by that group. I thought that the host, he almost felt like a celebrity that I couldn't quite place. Like he was that polished and entertaining to listen to and watch.
Yeah.
And the whole video was very slickly produced and mad convincing. Like, I had already kind of privately, just without reading any journalism on it or anything, just kind of discerned that Roblox feels pretty scammy. But having it all laid out like that was very compelling.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that I still know very little, but I knew absolutely nothing before, like, watching the video. I knew of the game, and I knew that it was like, I can go buy Robux at, like, my Kroger with a gift card, right? But that's, like, all I knew. I didn't know anything else about this game, So for somebody who is kind of into the gaming atmosphere or the world, like, I feel like I do a decent job of, like, kind of keeping up to date with stuff. I knew nothing of this world, this whole, like, universe of Robux and Roblox.
There are niches in niches, man, and some of them are gigantic, like we were talking about last week with the Candy Crush and all of that. You just never know. But preying on kids is
The link that was put in the chat is a Roblox developer. Looks like an adult now. But he's been developing for the game since he was 14. And he's got all these, like, no, that's not true. He's got this big, long, diatribe. But then he says on July 31st that 2020, the average developer in Roblox makes $725 a year. The average developer makes $725 a year. There are 345,000 developers on the platform who are monetizing their games. In June 2020, developers.
What about the median developer?
That's the real question, right?
That's right. Would you would like to see the stats for the amount the median developer makes? Averages may be highly skewed. So he said that in July 31st, but today he's defending this, like he's against this video. He's like pissed off that this video doesn't show the positives or whatever. So, but I feel like he's just shooting himself in the foot because he said this in, July of last year, and then in August of this year, this motherfucker's like, no, none of that's true. Like, I don't know. But the link I just sent you is basically him trying to be like, no, none of this is true. And I'm like, but this is you in July.
Yeah. I mean, the hours people put in versus the amount of money that they pull out, even if like every kid made $700 or whatever dollars, I would imagine they're spending like hundreds of hours putting these experiences together, you know, and yeah, get a paper route, man.
Overworked, underpaid.
I mean,
I don't think that's a thing anymore, but yeah.
I don't know, but like ideally you aren't putting in, you know, burnout crunch hours in at 11, but I'm kind of disappointed in it in a way, because I've heard about Roblox off and on a few times. Like, I knew they used Lua scripting because I'm like pretty familiar with that as a scripting language, and oftentimes when I'm looking up how to do something, I'll find the answer on the Roblox forum.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I've run across the Roblox community a number of times that way, because there are real game development skills that you can hone through this. Like, it makes me think of like I mentioned Newgrounds in terms of like Flash was like a cool technology that made game development a lot more accessible than it had been. Or I think of RPG Maker, which technically wasn't a free tool, but everybody had pirated for some reason. I don't know.
I had pirated. I was convinced I was going to use it and like learn.
Yeah. I mean, that was the first thing that I ever did to like that. Like, RPG Maker 2000 was the first program I had ever heard of that I was like, oh, a normal person can make games? That's possible? And like, that's what kicked me off. And I'm sure I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours in RPG Maker and like have nothing to show for it. Well, I guess not nothing, but because I mean, that's what sent me down the path of actually becoming a game developer. So like, the idea of Roblox is so cool because it could be that, but adding in all this other money stuff and all this, like, you know, their CEO making so much billions of dollars is like, I don't know, it just makes it so sketchy.
Just eating all those little kids' souls. That's all.
Like, there was another point in the video mentioned that he didn't spend a lot of time on because it wasn't really the focus, but he talked about that Roblox does this thing where among their more popular games, they have a sort of like bonus payout for the games in which people spend the most time, which therefore incentivizes you to make like addicting games or, you know, like grindy games or like loot box, like all the kind of like really bad behaviors in games that take advantage of people's psychology that we are all talking about. Like, hey, this is just a shitty thing to do. Like, they're training in those like you know, like gotcha mobile game behaviors into kids from the start.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're a kid, go out and pirate RPG Maker 2003. It's not going to be good, but it's going to be so much better.
That's the moral of the story.
Well,
and kids, hacks work. Okay, do hack all the things, right? Warzone, Roblox, do it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and kids, why are you listening to our show, man? I don't know. You should.
Yeah, you kids should go to bed.
Yeah, parents, tell your kids to pirate RPG Maker 2000. That's what I meant to say.
Also, adults, there is no Tamagotchi porn.
Oh, come on!
However,
okay, there we go.
There will be here in a week.
There is a woman named something Tamagotchi.
I'll take it.
Porn industry. So
there we go.
I'll take it.
Win? I don't know.
It's that name recognition. Yeah. Are her videos all about her starving?
Oh my god, no!
She's just got piles of.
Oh god. Oh man, Elliot, get us out of here. Elliot, get us out of here.
All right, real quick. What are you playing, Joe? You playing anything? Anything new?
I just got what's that? The Apollo Creed game? What's it called?
Are you allowed to talk about it?
I mean, kind of.
That's a no.
Not gonna talk about it.
All right.
Not gonna talk about it. Knockout City.
Knockout City. Oh boy.
What's that Apollo Creed game? He knocks people out. Knockout City. That's what I'm thinking.
Knockout City. That's what it's called. Yeah. Apollo Creed's in it.
That's great.
There's Apollo Creed skin in Knockout City. There's not. So yeah.
Anything new for you, Max? You playing anything at all?
Are
you reading anything? Are you watching anything?
Yeah, no, I'm not a nerd, so I don't read books. I don't watch TV. I did, I was working, I needed to look at some UI elements in a few Switch games, and so I was like leafing through a few games, and I played Breath of the Wild for a little bit, and that was really nice. I delivered some rusty swords to some Octoroks on Death Mountain so they could polish them up. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I'm planning on maybe playing a video game this week, though. We'll see.
Maybe, right?
We'll see if I have time.
Yeah. How about you, Eric?
Yeah, I'm playing King's Bounty 2 on PC. It's like a Heroes of Might and Magic style. It's interesting. It's like an open world RPG, but when you go into battle, it kicks over to like this strategy battle instead of just whacking people with your sword like you would in a Skyrim style thing. So it's kind of more deliberate pacing, but a fun world and a fun story and really funny kind of stilted dialogue. I don't know. I'm enjoying it like both on the strategy level and on a B movie level. So I should have planning on writing up the review this weekend. If I can get through it this week, which I think I will be able to. Book-wise, I just read this book called My Best Friend's Exorcism by this guy, last name is Hendricks. I guess he's been writing a bunch of horror books. He's kind of making the splash. But I just happened to grab this one out of the library randomly just because the cover of the book looks like a VHS horror movie cover. And I was like, oh, that's fun. And, oh man, it was great. It was so good. It was really, really worthwhile. So if anybody comes across that, I'm sure it's like 5 years old and people are like, that's old news, dude. But whatever. I read it. I liked it.
Nice. I just played Fling to the Finish with my friend. I had a friend come over and I recorded it, so I think I'm gonna make a YouTube video for it. It's like a co-op adventure game where you play like two bouncy balls that are attached together by a string, and you kind of move around things together and stuff like that. So it was actually it was a lot of fun to play. I don't know, it doesn't really hold up like playing by myself with one controller using two things. Gameplay got really kind of weird, but with somebody else, it was an absolute blast. So I played a little bit of that, and then I just finished This Is How You Lose the Time War, which is about two people who are going back and forth through time and different like continuums, like altering like events to make them work for their side, and they leave each other letters like back and forth, and you don't really even know their names. They're just like, one's called Red, one's called Blue, and so it's about that. So it's like a time travel, but not kind of book. I've really enjoyed it. So I literally just finished it today, which made me think of asking you about books. So anyway,
that's fun. I'll read that. That sounds good.
It was it was like a small read. It was like, I don't even think it was 200 pages. So it was a good little like short sit down read. Anyway, I guess that'll do it for us this week, boys. Unless anyone has anything else to add.
No, it's too hot. Don't add anything else.
Max is hot. He wants us to.
Max is hot. Yeah, he's really, really hot.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. Remember, like, subscribe, tell somebody about the show that helps us grow. And other than that, we will catch you guys next week. So take it easy.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Later.